Well, everybody, I certainly love this segment because it always educates us and gives us an opportunity to learn about other ways in which we can invest our money.
Yeah, we have Real Wealth Group. We're always talking to Real Wealth Group because so much good insight on what's going on in the market. And here today, talk about their incredible product, Syndic8, which is an investment opportunity we all need to know more about. We have VP of Sales, Roberto Lloren, and Nick Tsimidis, President and Founding Partner. Guys, great to have you back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
There's a lot to talk about, so let's first educate our listeners on what is a syndicate mortgage. So, Nick, I'm going to start with you.
A syndicate mortgage is a platform where two or more people come together to invest in a mortgage.
All right. Roberto, what is Syndic8? And that's with the number 8 at the end.
Yeah, we took a page out of Apple's iPhone and iPad. It's 2 words. The first word is syndicate, which actually means a group of people or an association of people working together for a common cause. We love the number 8. We amalgamated both. So it's now Syndicate. So our definition is a group of people working together to get a rate of return of at least 8%.
Of at least 8%.
At least 8%.
I like it.
And usually more. And you know what I love about this is really, at the end of the day, this is what the banks and other savvy investors have been doing for years and decades, in fact. And now there's a structure by which the average consumer can actually get involved and invest their money. So, you know, one of the first questions that we get is, you know, what is the minimum amount? Do I need millions to invest in these deals?
Is this just for the super elite, or is it for anybody?
Yeah, so what is the minimum investment that's
Well, the
possible?
nice thing about this one, thanks for asking, is that retail investors can start investing with a minimum of $25,000. You don't need to be a millionaire to be engaged into this type of investment, which I think is great. A lot of people, a lot of investors are hurting. This is one way to make sure that they wake up their RSPs, they at least start earning consistently, predictably, monthly.
Okay, now Nick, I know our listeners are going to say, okay, that's wonderful. Here's another opportunity, but you need to tell me, what are the risks?
Well, there's risks in everything you do. Generally, in investing in mortgages, you have systematic risk and market risk. So the market risk is something you can't really control. The systematic risk you can control. So at Real Wealth, what we do is we add a higher level of protection. So all the underwriting, all the due diligence that we provide, all the verification, and investing our own funds into the project, we believe that we do add a higher level of protection.
All right. Now, Roberto, you were saying that we're starting at 8% returns, and people are going to go, wow, that sounds too good to be true. But that's not the highest. I mean, it can go as high as what?
It can go as high as 9%, depending on the amount you've investing. There are tiers. So it's 8.5%, and 9%.
Okay.
We simply pass on the cost for those investors who have a higher investment amount.
And these are fixed amounts. And usually, what kind of term are we talking about?
Normal terms are between 3 and 5 years.
Okay, because a lot of people are going to look at their exit strategy. They're going to want to know, how long are my funds going to be held up for before I realize? And is there any kind of money coming while the money's in there for 3 to 5 years? Are they getting anything in terms of interest payments, or is it just at the end you kind of cash out and you get your reward then?
Actually, the beauty of this one is it's cash flowing. So you get 8% annually. It's paid monthly.
Wow.
So if it's cash, you get either a direct deposit or a check. And if it's a registered investment, you get paid through your RSP account or your registered account.
Okay, so that was going to lead into our next question, which of course, is it RSP eligible or any of those other products that a lot of us just have cash sitting in there, or it could be in mutual funds or in the stock market? So are there restrictions?
No restrictions as far as the money just has to come from a Canadian financial institution.
Okay.
And it can be in cash, it can be in registered accounts, RSP, locked-in retirement account, especially for those who've worked for a certain company for 10 years and they have what you call a locked-in retirement account.
A LIRA, yeah.
A LIRA.
Or
and,
RESP as well, I assume.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also TFSAs, which is now the interest there is tax-free, which is a good thing.
Now, I'm assuming then, because it's RSP eligible, it's logical then to assume that they must be made in Canada. These investments won't be in Ohio or Florida or Timbuktu.
As far as our company, it is based in Canada, but there are other investments that you can use your RSP money in stateside investments.
So let's talk about the process. So our listeners are going to say, okay, 8 to 9%, I kind of like that. There's a tier system there. I like the fact that, okay, there's risk in anything that you invest in, but you do your due diligence to make sure that, of course, that's minimized. But what's the process, Nick? How do we get started?
Well, the first thing that we do is we have investor presentations and really a high-level discussion with the client to see if it's suitable for them. We complete a KYC form, which is a Know Your Client form. And the objective is to ensure that the investment is suitable. Because it is a long-term investment, 3 to 5 years, it's not for investors that want to put their money away for 3 months or 4 months. It's really for the type of investment or part of your portfolio that you don't really need for period of time. So it's really suitable for RSPs and locked-in accounts where you really can't access the funds.
Might be also an interesting product for somebody that wants to diversify a little bit. Maybe they're comfortable with some money they've got in the stock market. They can put some money with you guys. They can have others. We have clients that have money in income properties, but they also want to have some tucked away, sort of with a fixed return. You see a lot of that as well?
Most pension plans, they have an allocation of funds in bonds, being fixed income, and in equities. Yeah. So what you can do by investing in Syndicate or in mortgage investments, you're able to actually try to mimic the portfolio of a pension plan, which is an allocation of funds into growth vehicles, being equities, and into bonds. But we like to do mortgages. They're easier to understand. You direct ownership of the investment, and the income comes every month. You do not have a fluctuation of the principal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're also seeing another very interesting phenomenon, and that's this. I can borrow on the equity in my home and pay what now in interest? 3.5%.
3.5%. That's right.
Okay. And I can invest in this. So I can borrow money from my bank, pay them 3.5%, give the money to this investment, and that's going to pay me 8 or 8.5%. So I'm making a 5-point spread on the bank's money. I like that.
I love that.
Call me crazy.
And the interest is a tax deduction, so it helps on the...
Oh, well, that, Roberto, was my
Yeah.
next question, actually. So I know our listeners are going to say, okay, that's great. Now, how am I taxed on this?
Interest income is taxed as normal income. So generally, if you invest in a product like this or on a bond, you're issued a T5 slip. So at the end of the year, you give the T5 to your accountant, and it's included as income.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Now, what about for those that say, okay, but if I need to take my money out before the term, if I want to get out, can they get out or no?
You're locked into the term of the mortgage.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So there's no penalties or anything, you're in. And
Having
that's why
said
you
that-
do your Know Your Client. That's why you take the time to make sure that this type of investment truly makes sense for them.
Yeah.
But I did get the question, and maybe you can answer this, can I assign that paper? Because everything is liquid, really, at the end of the day at a certain price. Have you ever heard of an assignment of an investment of this type?
Yeah, so what we do is we try to broker, and if clients need to get out for any reason, we try to look for another client to take over that mortgage investment. So we do try to provide after-sales service. It's not always the case, but we just do try to help people that are in need of money.
All right, very good. Well, of course, to remind our listeners, you can always visit realestatetalkshow.ca. As you had mentioned, Roberto and Nick, you have these incredible info sessions. This is something where, you can get your feet wet, get a good feeling about it. They can come and meet you people directly, which I think is very important. And it's truly an awareness. It's a way to understand that there are other options out there. And you know what I love? I love that, little me, I get to act like a bank.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And invest their money and make a profit on it for a
it's
change.
Fantastic. So Roberto and Nick from Real Wealth Group, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Great insight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great having you guys. We have to have you back, talk about this more and more.
Thank you.